Here's a question almost nobody asks, but everyone should. Do you have narcissistic traits? Not, are you a narcissist? That's the wrong question. The right question is whether some of these patterns show up in you too, because the honest answer for almost everyone is yes. Today we're talking about the narcissism spectrum, what it actually is, where most people fall on it, and the exact point where it stops being a personality quirk and becomes something else entirely. Welcome back to video 3 in this series. If you're just joining us, video 1 covered what narcissism actually means, and video 2 broke down the 4 types: overt, covert, malignant, and communal. Both are linked below if you want the full picture. Today, we zoom out. Everyone is somewhere on this line. Picture a horizontal line. On the far left, someone with almost no self-focus at all, constantly self-effacing, struggling to advocate for their own needs, uncomfortable taking up space. On the far right, severe narcissistic personality disorder, the pattern we covered in the last 2 videos. Most people are somewhere in the middle, and here's the part that surprises people. A healthy position on this spectrum is not at the far left. Some narcissistic traits are not just normal, they're necessary. Believing your work has value, feeling proud of an achievement, advocating for your needs in a relationship, wanting to be seen and appreciated. These aren't narcissistic flaws, they're basic components of a functioning self-esteem. Psychologists sometimes call this healthy narcissism, the capacity to value yourself without needing that valuation to come exclusively from other people, and without that self-regard depending on putting others down. The spectrum only becomes a problem in 2 directions. Too little, where a person can't function with any sense of self-worth, and too much, where self-worth becomes so central that everything and everyone gets organized around protecting it. Where traits become a pattern. So if everyone has some of these traits, what actually separates a narcissistic person from someone with narcissistic personality disorder? 3 things: rigidity, pervasiveness, and impairment. Rigidity means the behavior doesn't flex based on context. Someone might be quite ego-driven at work but warm and humble at home. That's a trait showing up in one domain. NPD looks different. The pattern shows up almost everywhere, with almost everyone, almost all the time. Pervasiveness is about how many areas of life are affected. Romantic relationships, friendships, family, work, even casual interactions. When the same dynamics repeat across all of them, that's a pattern, not a moment. Impairment is the most important piece, and the one clinicians focus on most. Is this causing significant, ongoing harm to the person themselves or to the people around them? Are relationships consistently breaking down? Is there a trail of damage that the person doesn't seem to register or take responsibility for? When you see rigidity, pervasiveness, and impairment together, over a long period of time, not just during a hard year, that's the territory where NPD becomes the relevant framework, not just, this person has some narcissistic traits. Why this matters for you. Here's why understanding the spectrum actually matters, beyond the clinical detail. If you've been in a relationship with someone high on this spectrum, one of the most common experiences is doubting your own judgment. You start asking, was it really that bad? Don't I have some of these traits too? Am I the problem? Understanding the spectrum gives you language for something important. Having traits is not the same as having the disorder, and recognizing harm doesn't require a diagnosis. You don't need someone to score a perfect 9 out of 9 on a clinical checklist for their behavior to have caused you real damage. If the pattern was rigid, it touched every part of your life, and it left a trail of harm that was never acknowledged. That's enough information to act on, regardless of what label technically applies. This also matters if you're looking inward. Maybe parts of this series have made you uncomfortable. Maybe you recognize something in yourself in video 2. That discomfort is actually a good sign. The capacity to notice your own patterns, feel uneasy about them, and want to do something different, that itself is something a narcissistic personality disorder typically doesn't allow. Self-reflection is the opposite of the rigidity we just talked about. So, to bring it together, everyone sits somewhere on the narcissism spectrum, and some self-focus is healthy and necessary. The shift from trait to disorder comes down to rigidity, pervasiveness, and impairment, sustained over time. In the next video, we're going to dig into where these patterns actually come from, the childhood origins and root causes behind NPD, and what the research tells us about how it develops. If this video helped clarify something for you, let me know in the comments. And if you think someone in your life would benefit from this series, share it with them. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next video.